And I heard Shazam was good too, but I didn't.
Shazam is good. Shazam is like one of the best.
I didn't get to. I still haven't seen
DC. You gotta watch
I like
Shazam
the hero. I think he's cool.
Yeah, I love Shazam. But like Wonder Woman was good, but not the sequel Wonder Woman. And like Shazam is good. So like DC's like whole Batman right now is like just not.
I like Snyder's cut.
It's bad. It's a bad movie. Like it's just a bad. It's just a better version of a bad movie.
I like Snyder's cut.
You can like it. You can like it. Like
we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to do that right now.
I feel like a lot of nerds like the Snyder cut, and I wish somebody would explain it to me. Like what the.
I think it's fine film, but anyway.
Why? Like, okay, you're using words that do not apply to it. Like when you say it's a fine film.
Like, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Because for me, my only problem with the original film, because I didn't. For instance, let's just break it down. So so it wasn't per se like cinematography that bothered me. For instance, with the film, it wasn't per se acting, other than fucking Ezra Miller's Flash, that bothered me. Yeah, it wasn't.
Why does his Flash bother you?
Because
it's a little weird, but like
I just don't like the way. I don't think Ezra Miller's a bad actor, obviously, but I wasn't here for it. It wasn't. I'm not too happy about Jason Momoa's Aquaman either.
Yeah,
but
it's not the best.
Jason Momoa's Aquaman isn't like horrible to me though. Still,
yeah.
But Ezra Miller's Flash, I'm just like, oh god.
I don't like how he runs.
Me neither. I also said that I don't like how he runs.
I hate and I like how he runs because it's grown on me in a way because I'm like, this is why it's grown on me. It's like Ezra Miller's Flash runs like somebody who's never ran in their life before. Like,
and that's why. Okay. Oh my god.
But the Flash is a character who had a freak accident happen to him, and that's why he's the Flash, which is. Like if like just any old dude just got like super speed for like no fucking reason, like it wasn't just like Usain Bolt getting super
so
speed.
Here's my gripe. Here's my gripe about that because you're it's funny, you're right, but you would still and a roommate I had at the time tried to argue, but that's how Ezra Miller would run, and I'm like, okay, that's fair, but even one, I don't even think that's true. Because like I don't think that's how that man would fucking run. With the Speed Force, yes, allows you to obviously locomote with more energy added to it. It doesn't mean having bad running concepts will make you run faster. You don't get to just run bad, and that's why it's upsetting. That's why I don't like it. I'm like, that's why I don't like the way he runs. It's like you're not gonna all of a sudden make the Speed Force work. Even if you're running bad. If you're running bad, the Speed Force isn't going to work with you. You're literally being your own detriment.
Why do you have to, why do you have perfect,
I'm trying to make the sense right now.
Form as a rider?
It's not about perfect form, but the way he was running was literally a way of running that would not, bro. Bro, oh my God, bro. I mean, it wasn't to the point where he wouldn't be able to locomote, so it's still work. It's like, no, you're not gonna run like that, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Also, the Flashes still have to apply to physics. You saw the way they had him like, it'd be like a jump.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you just take the speed, you're still taking the fucking steps, bro. You didn't just, never mind.
Yeah, you're just traveling faster. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good.
But yes, you said it's a cinematic masterpiece.
I didn't say masterpiece. I just said the cinematography didn't bother me. I didn't say the acting was horrible. But what did bother me was just particular choices, particular things done, and then you see what they did to Cyborg's story, and it was like you get to Cyborg, it was like, what was the point of this character?
In the original one you were talking about. Yeah,
of course. In the original, it was like, what was the point? Because the acting for I forget the actor's name, but the actor who played Cyborg did wonderful, I thought.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's like, what was the point? And then you see Snyder's cut, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's good. So this is why I'm like, you get on it as film, and I'm like, I get it. But I was like, it's not as bad as people think. But then the original one also just doesn't make sense. It's making it exponentially worse. So Snyder's cut for me, and I don't put it up there with like some of my favorite superhero movies, but like when people are like, "Oh, it's a bad film," I'm like, I don't get it now. Okay, but like I get. Are you mad still? I don't know. Are you mad because they? Well, I don't mean you. I just mean when people are like, "Yo, what's up?" Is it because they took an original and they made it longer, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Rather than make a new film. So
no,
yeah, that's all
not
I
true.
mean. That's all I mean. No,
I'll tell you why that's not true. Because when Black Panther came out, they said that shit was gonna be 4 hours long, and I was like, I'm ready. Like,
facts.
Before I even saw the movie, 3 hours long. And then after I saw the movie, I'm like, where's my other 2 hours? Facts. Like what? Like a check is hours, huh?
It was about 3 hours still.
No, it was 2 hours. It was a 2 hour movie.
I could have sworn it hit 3 still.
Nah.
I could have sworn it hit 3.
No. But,
I'm gonna run the numbers, but yeah.
But I want my extra 2 hours on that movie.
No, right? Facts. It was a great film. That was great.
I didn't need an extra 2 hours on fucking Justice League. I didn't need it. Like I get what he was trying to do.
Okay, valid.
I love the creative expression and the creative freedom to do that. Like that part I love. I love that like he got the go ahead to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do and like, you know, really make the movie that he always wanted to make. I love that. Yeah. But it's garbage. It's like it's like 4 hours of garbage. Like it's like this is just it's like Zack Snyder is not a bad like visualist. You know? Like he knows how to make something beautiful and compelling through fucking just image, you know? Like he knows like the perfect shots to make, how to make it iconic, but sometimes he overdoes it, you know, in a way that's almost like Michael Bay-ish. You know what I mean? Right. But he obviously is tapped into something about spectacle. He knows something about it. Like he knows how to make you feel whatever that childish feeling is of, oh my God, this like superhero thing is happening. And oh my God, I want to like put a suit on and do it too. Like, you know what I mean? Like he knows that, right? He's good at that. When it comes to writing though, it's like listening to somebody it's like listening to a cat play the accordion. Valid. Like it's like
complain about writing. Yeah.
Yeah. The writing is not good. Like it's not good writing. It's not some of the like his character work is awful.
But can you bastardize a whole film for just the bad writing?
Yes, that is actually a core piece of the film.
No, I mean true. I guess you can.
So, yes,
it's still an enjoyable film, but I get
Can you be mad at this film for being bad? It's
only
like yes.
just the bad writing. It is like actually you can. Actually, you can.
You mean all the talky bits, all the parts that tell me what's going on?
We liked your explosions, but no, sir, you're not getting by us.
Yeah, if you did like a super cut of like just the explosions and fighty bits in the movie, yeah, people probably be like, oh yeah, I just needed this. But like at the same time, the character is missing too. Like this, like what is going? Like I don't need the ending scene where like Joker jokes about how he gives Batman hand jobs on the side. Like what was that? What is that?
I don't know.
What is that? And like Batman's face, like, yeah, I guess you do. Like it's just like what is that? What is going on?
And believe I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you got Batman cussing. It's like, okay, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like that. That's cool.
Though, so. Not like to that degree. Only in times where shit's really like.
Can kids even watch fucking superhero movies anymore? Like, what is this bullshit?
PG-13s are allowed one F-bomb.
Yeah, but like, there used to be like standards.
Yeah.
And I know that we like make fun of like Saturday morning cartoons like Spider-Man, like, oh, they're not allowed to draw anybody punching anybody or anything like that. But it's just like, I want to bring that back a little bit. Like it's just like it's gone too far. Like I feel like people saw Deadpool and then they were like, oh, I want to do that too. Everything's got to be super edgy. Like, but it's like like some of y'all just cringy and just you're not really good at telling fucking stories. And I don't know what to do with it. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Anyway, if you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Logan, and this is the Milk and Toast Podcast. I'm here with my best friend, Mitch. Say hi to the people, Mitch.
I need a moment.
Again? For what?
It's just a lot right now.
What is? What's a lot?
Just keep going.
Okay. Anyways.
I'll be all right. Good to see you.
You gonna be all right?
See everybody. Yeah. I'll be good. I'll be good.
Anyways, as always, if you like the show, share the show. If you want to listen to the show, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and just about anywhere else you can get a podcast at. We're working on updating to YouTube. When by we, I say me, because
that'll really probably happen when we get to video, but just wait for it.
Yeah, but I somebody told me the other day that they watched the podcast on YouTube. I was like, oh, and they're like, I got to a certain number, and where's the rest of them? And I'm like, oh. So I was like, I have work to do.
YouTube updated?
So I have to just be like,
Logan's
YouTube is so hard to
guys.
Upload. That's the other thing.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, anyways, but you will have your episodes. Don't worry, guys. It's always nice when people actually want to hear it, though. Like, but no, you guys do share the show and it shows. So thank you for that. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm okay. I just got back on my medication, so things have been weird. I was supposed to go to the gym today with my roommate, my homie, one of my closest friends, and I didn't tell him. But the fact is, I wasn't up for it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I haven't been off of it before, and I was off it for 3 days, and those days were weird as well because I was like, am I fine? Am I not fine? And I couldn't tell.
Right.
And so now I'm back on them, and I'm just like, am I going through that weird anxious beginning period again that I shouldn't need to go through since I already went through that and have been on the drugs for a while now? So I don't really. That's why I was telling you. I'm kind of dry. I'm just I don't know. I'm here, but weird shit's going on, bro.
No, I get that.
Yeah. So I'm all right though. That's the thing. It's I feel okay. Things have been getting better. Not good enough because there's still bullshit to deal with and shit to stress me out. But it's
Has life been getting better, at least?
Well, better in minute ways, but the problems that I've been dealing with are still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm gonna keep working. Towards better, which I have been doing, and which medication and therapy have been helping me do. But it's just I have days, and this week particularly was just a little much because I was just and it hasn't even been a traumatic experience or stressful. It's just that's where my brain's been. I'm like, yo, what's up with me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Not a whole I'm suffering, and I don't want anybody to think of it like that. It's just that it's a confusing period.
No,
that'd be a better way to put it. It's just been a confusing period.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So
you just keep on trucking, little buddy. You just keep on keeping on. It's my pep talk. That's what I got.
Does my mental illness amuse you, Logan?
Mine does.
Anyway, moving on.
That's called being invulnerable. It's just
Oh God. Oh my God. Anyone listening, if you need it, seek help. Help is always good.
Really?
Remember to seek help. It's always good. It's always best for you, and no shame involved.
Yeah,
I've sought help, and it's been helping me get better. Logan's still working on it, but we're getting better. Is the point?
Yep. Let's say that.
If you need it,
working on it. I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna say because you are.
Right.
In your little own way, buddy. Don't worry about it.
That's
I got
right.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
If you're out there listening and you need it,
seek help.
Just seek help.
Yes.
Go seek that help. Ain't no shame. It's good for you.
This has been brought to you by BetterHelp. No, I'm kidding. I gotta
BetterHelp.
stop doing that.
Milk and Toast. Yeah, probably. But anyway,
one
yeah,
day, maybe, but maybe one, like, maybe BetterHelp should like hit us up. I mean, we have mental issues, and we would love to help people in a better way. So, like, BetterHelp.
I'm not sure if I can ride with this one. Maybe we went too far.
No, they better help.
We're gonna go.
They better.
We're okay. So hold on. Let me
better in. Help. You better
Chief.
help.
Okay, we're going with this. All right. Yeah. They better help. Yeah. Better help. Better help.
What if BetterHelp really was like
listening to the
was like a threat? Like it was like BetterHelp.
Oh, right. Why would
better
help?
Better help.
I don't know. I don't think that's what they should go with.
That's not what they should. That's not how they should help.
No, I don't think so.
We better help you.
I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional, but I don't think that's it. Let's try again. Let's go back to the drawing board and see what we come up with.
Nobody wants to hear this. Like, it's just like this content was for no one
except the people who needed it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely go get help. I just meant my stupid BetterHelp joke.
Yeah. I don't know who that one was. I asked upstairs. They was like, "Yo, just go with it."
I have nothing but boring topics.
Don't say that. Hey, don't say that.
Yeah, man.
What are they, bro? Come on, man. No, hey, look at me, man. Look at me.
Okay.
At least they're there.
You want to hear something that bothered me? What
grinds your gears?
Yeah, it's not grinding my gears. I don't know if it's that dire. Like, it's just
sorry, I was just
something that I've been thinking about, and something that, because I've been having a lot of talks lately at work, weirdly enough, about like racism and stuff.
And colored folk at your job?
With ethnic folk, let me say it like that.
Okay.
With people who aren't exactly white. Let me say it like that. Okay. Like one person is white, but he's Jewish. Like he's Jewish. You know what I mean? So it's like so yeah. So like
we can talk.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he talks about anti-Semitism, and I'm like, oh shit, that's happening to you. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, so like that's a thing.
That does happen to them.
That does,
Sometimes perpetrated by people in our communities.
You know what's what's crazy about that though is that like people say anti-Semitism happens, but I've never like been around somebody who it happened to. You know what I mean? Like on a person-to-person basis. Like I always hear about anti-Semitism in a systemic type way, or like a historical context, or like just like grandiose ways, like big ways, but never like in a way where it's like, oh yeah, this person is just like, they said this and this about the Jews, and I just had to laugh because they didn't know I was Jewish, like it wasn't like, I've never been like, had like that happen. And like, that was some of the stories I heard like recently,
Right.
And so like, one thing I was thinking about is just like how people do this thing where they're so like, I feel like anti-identity sometimes.
Oh, you did say you wanted to talk about it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I get it on some levels, but carry on it. We'll get to that later.
What I was saying is that I feel like people have this thing where they're like anti-identity, and like, I feel like that's like a response to either a lack of identity or your identity always being represented, so you don't have to necessarily worry about like your identity. But like for somebody like me, I had to like, I just thought about it like up until very recently, not even very recently, but like my whole like upbringing was basically me fighting for the right of my own identity,
Okay.
Like up until I was like maybe just in my like mid 20s or so, I would say, is like me always having to like, because I do that. I hang around a lot of like political minded people, and like even before then, just like going to like schools with people who like always want to question your identity, whether it's black people that want to question your identity or white people who want to like impose upon your identity or define your identity. And it just like, it's not until the last couple of years or so that it's become a big thing to like be anti-identity in a way. And to me, that kind of like, it's a little offensive, because not in a way that like, all my life I had to fight and now you're telling me it's not real. It's not that. It's just that it's offensive in the way that like, this is how I've lived and I've always lived and I've always had to defend myself. And you're saying that it's insignificant because you hadn't had to go through it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, no, I get it on that level. I get you on that. The only thing I would say is why, like, to me, because I don't have anything against identity, but what I'm always wary of, and that's just with humanity in general, is tribalism. Now, it's a different argument, different discussion. So maybe I shouldn't even bring it up here.
No,
but that's
like,
the only reason I would say,
too.
like, that's the only reason I would say, like, sometimes people are like anti-identity. Because sometimes me personally, I wish people thought less in terms of who they identify with and like being willing to look outside of that to help their fellow, human being is how I feel. But like I said, it's kind of like separate ideas. So I get it. But, I don't know, man, it's very hard because on one level you feel like you can't trust anybody. So it's only natural to, grow and learn from a community of people who resemble you or that you think care about you in some capacity or would care enough about you in some capacity to help you. And that's why we have all these issues with each other, because we have distrust of each other. That's why tribalism is a thing in the first place, while we fight over little things. And the point of America is, well, to me, the point is to try and unite these disparate people to work towards a similar cause. That's always kind of the end goal. It's just shit gets muddied. No, and I know, right? It's so weird, but that's what I was thinking when you said it. Because I was like, I'm not anti-identity, but I'm full on anti-tribalism, and the shit pisses me off sometimes. But where you're coming from is different, because you're like, and what I was gonna say, but wait, before you go, because what I was gonna say to that point is, it's less about it's less about trying to forget the identity. I mean, it's not as important in terms of remembering the identity as it is in remembering the history and who was affected. To me, if that makes sense. Because, like, sure, I'm a black man who's been, whose history and ancestry spans, a long time like everybody else, and has had effect on my being. There's no denying that. I want you to know that, obviously, because there's a reason we're here at the points we're in, and people like to forget history. Like, people like to pretend like the past don't exist. Oh, we just got to move on. And on some level, sure, but you don't forget. You never forget. It's when we forget that bullshit happens again. That's the problem. That's why I'm like, you never forget the history. So yeah, of course, I want you to know that. But I'm also not the dude who hinges his entire existence on the fact that he's a black man living in America.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound like some elitist when I say that. I love being black. I'm not ashamed of that. But it doesn't come to the forefront of my mind in terms of who I am.
Right.
Who I am, however anybody feels about that, is more important than any of that, any color, any way someone thinks about me. Like, who am I really on the inside? That's what matters the most, as we've all been taught. So that's really the only way that I mean that when I say it like that. Because, of course, I want you to remember what has happened to African-descended people in this country, around the world, the diaspora, period, point blank, period. What they look like, why people who would look like those people are in certain predicaments that they're in, why they would act certain ways. You need to understand all that. I don't give a fuck if you care about it or not. You need to understand. But if when you look at me and you're facing me, you decide the way you want to treat me isn't entirely based in that, okay, that's fair. But then we have to talk about what is the way you're treating me based in. And that's kind of how I mean it when I speak on that. You know what I mean?
I feel like if that when you say what is it based in, I feel like it becomes what does the person feel like it's based in, because like
on some level it does.
Not to me, I feel like you're like, if you don't feel like it's based off of anything, like you're already wrong. But I am curious about your answer because it's like, to me, it becomes like a trick question at some point, because it's like, are you saying then that you are so unaffected by your environment and your reality that you have no opinions that stem from that?
Are you asking me personally, or are you just speaking
No, I'm just saying, like, to the person that, you
that's
posit
absolutely
like
fair.
that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, I agree with that entirely, because, like I said, I want you to know that for a reason. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean, and because at the end of the day, the other point is, we're not supposed to necessarily treat anybody special. And that means for better or for worse, which we fail at all the fucking time, especially here. But as we truthfully know, we're not supposed to treat anybody as if they have more value than another person, at least in terms of the value of a human life.
Yeah.
Obviously, a nuclear physicist who's creating a reactor to charge energy, we're going to need in a certain position more than a farmer whose purpose is to, grow food. Obviously, those are both important, but there's different places we want them to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of.
The value is different. Of course, we could gauge value on different things for where we are, but otherwise, you know exactly what I mean. I don't want to get into that because that'd be complex.
If they're in a burning building, we save them both.
We send a fireman in to save them, not a fucking dishwasher. You feel me?
Right.
But nonetheless, the human life itself, your life, my life, the other dude. Otherwise, hey man, we all bleed, we all shit the same, we all was born, we all gonna die. Plain and simple, point blank, period. So we're not supposed to treat anybody special for better or for worse. That's why I say for better or for worse. That's wrong. Period. And sometimes we fail at that. But the point is to not let someone's past circumstances affect how you treat them now, for better or for worse.
I feel like, though, sometimes that even the anti-tribalism thing can be like a bit of a cop-out, because it
Explain.
It supposes so many things that I feel like are political, like they're like false, and they're like tribalism. Tribalism itself, huh?
Did you say political?
Yeah,
I heard you say that. Yeah. It's political.
Okay. See, that's what we was just talking about. We don't want black people to use words now. You know, it's just like
anyway, just. Go ahead, my fault. I should have did that. Please continue. No.
Continue. It's just desserts. I did it to you earlier. Like that's. Anyways,
please carry on. My apologies for interrupting.
Like just the word tribalism itself, which is something that has ramped up in discourse in the last couple of years or so. Mm-hmm. But tribalism itself, I feel like the word itself is kind of false, because the meaning is just it's just the evolution of the word race war or something. You know what I mean?
Wait, you know what? Let me not just continue.
No, I feel like it's like watered. I feel like it's a watered down new age version of that, because it's before it was what's the struggle between the races? What is the race war? And it's there is no race war. It's not that way. It's not fair, but it does sound a way that it does kind of comfort those who are already of privilege and of power in any ways. You know what I mean? So it's
in that sense, no, but I'm listening to your thought process. So that's my
I say it does, because it's
no, but don't explain that. Just explain your idea. We'll get to that later. We could get on semantics for words and shit later.
Okay.
Yeah, just talk about how you feel.
Anyways, what I meant by the tribalism thing is just basically that it supposes power where there isn't. And not that minorities don't have any power, but it supposes a power balance where there is imbalance, is what I mean. You know what I mean? It supposes an ability to. There's we were just talking about superheroes, but in the movie X-Men First Class, there's that line where they're are you trying to say that there's going to be a war between mutants and humans? And it's no, because a war would like suppose like there was like an equal chance on both sides, and we're like that shit. Like that's what one of the mutants said. You know what I mean?
Like sounds like Magneto.
You know what I mean? No, it wasn't Magneto. It was January Jones when she was all the crystalline lady, the crystal lady or whatever. But like that's kind of like what I mean is that like we say shit like tribalism, and it's like, okay, let's actually unpack that. You're right. Like if you're saying that it's tribalist to be what, pro-black, or is it tribalist to be like if you unpack just like the words pro-black and pro-white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those things mean like not even close to the same thing.
Well,
you know
you're
I mean?
right, but that's why I was saying we could save this, because I wanted to hear what your thought on it was. But that's why I was saying we could save semantics for in terms of like
I'm not
defining
even,
what these terms
I'm not even
are
speaking
later.
semantically. I'm speaking.
No, I'm not saying you are now. That's why I was just saying I wanted, because I was going to talk about because what you just said. I was
just
very curious.
in cause and purpose of what those words, of what the consequences of those words mean. You know, of what those words bring forth. Like pro-black does not automatically even mean closely, even remotely harm towards white people. But anytime you hear pro-white, automatically our brain goes to Aryan Nation, like white supremacists, KKK.
Well, usually you don't hear the term pro-white though. That's the funny thing. Usually
you don't hear because
you hear the term like white power or like white supremacy.
Yeah, but you don't. But I'm saying like, yes, true. But you get my meaning.
No, I get. Like, I wanted to talk about that real quick, but no, I get exactly where you're coming from I was going to connect it back to tribalism.
So that's what I mean by like the tribalism. That's what I mean by my feeling about tribalism is that it's kind of like it almost feels like a liberal type of cop out, that like it's like this thing that liberal people came up with to say that like, you know, to like explain racism away or explain certain types of injustice away that cannot be quantified simply. Like it can't just like be like, well, these people over here, they did this shit and it wasn't us, but it's like we should stop them from doing it. Like I'm the good white person, but these are the white people that do this. You know what I mean? Like you can't just like racism doesn't work that way. Like the same way sexism doesn't work that way. Like I can't just say I'm one of the good men.
The thing is that's not what. So the thing is that tribalism, even in the term itself, can't constitute any of those things, because when you're discussing tribalism, you have to describe why each of the tribes are fighting. That's why I think it's funny you feel that way. But that's how I think about it.
Black people aren't fighting white people. That's the difference. Is what I'm trying to say.
That was one of the words I said, yes, or having any issue or bumping any heads or anything like that, why people have issue with each other.
All those words you mean conflict in a way that like both people are conflicting. When the struggle is between people trying to lord over another people because of the color of their skin, or trying to in some instances either subjugate or like eradicate those people. And those people's response is either to in some cases fight, but mostly to just fucking survive. Like that's not a conflict. You know what I mean?
How is that not a conflict?
That's not a conflict, and like it's not like a war. It's not like two tribes are coming against each other for like land against each other. You know what I mean? Like black people aren't trying to take over Detroit. Black people just happen to live in Detroit.
Okay, you mean it in that way.
You see what I'm saying? It's not like black people are colonizers where they're trying to colonize land and there's people that live there already and they're like, hey, you can't colonize here. We already live here. And then there's a struggle. Like that's not what happens.
Okay, you take the term, you take the academic term literally.
Yes, I do. And I'm going to tell you why. I take it literally. I take it literally because that's what the discourse boils down to in its function and its place in our society at the end of the day, one way or another. Like when people start saying things that are like, you know, well, identity doesn't matter, or like, you know, A, B, and C for like their anti-identity arguments, it always boils down to like this we're all human type thing, and like platitudes about like how like these things are, for better or worse, like trivial. And I'm not necessarily sold on that 100% because of the fact that like your culture, where you come from, these things do matter. They inflict upon your experiences. They inflict upon like how you interact with others within the world, which you call a norm and what others call a norm. And it's not necessarily the problem. Like why it would be a problem is if you are in a position where you would have to deal with it, and it would be an inconvenience for you to deal with it. And really, it's really more of a problem if you have the power not to deal with it and you still have to deal with it. And then that's why it would be an inconvenience. You know what I mean? Like somebody might speak a different language than me, but how does that really ruin my day? You know what I mean? How does that mean that I must force them to speak the language I speak? You know what I mean?
Unless
so, I don't know if I'm making my point.
Well, I'm trying to get it. Maybe another example. Just in terms in the sense of like, you know, how exactly.
Tell me what to unpack.
Yeah, that's what I'm like in terms, I guess, of like the interacting peoples and how they express power amongst one another, in the sense that you're describing, at least.
In the sense that I'm describing is that like when we talk about things like, and I wasn't even really on tribalism, but then I know we got here.
No, I know, I'm trying to like remake the connect. So I'm just taught, or I guess I'm trying to say draw it all together if you can.
Yes.
Tie it all together if you can, because now I'm getting a little.
On one
hand, where are we?
On one hand, liberal-minded people want to be like some. Let me say it like this. On one hand, certain groups and some liberal-minded people want to be like, hey, these identity markers, there's something trivial about them, and because they're trivial, right, they don't matter, and because they don't matter, they aren't the point of like our human experience and story, and so therefore we should not become so hung up about them. And there is some meaning in that message. Like, yes, you should treat everybody like the way you want to be treated. Yes, you should look at, you know, these things as not what decides how you're going to treat a person well and how you're going to treat a person in a bad way, right? However, what I see, what my experience with it is it gets turned into these arguments all the time where it gets very, very, very close to just excusing bad behavior. It gets close to excusing, you know, things that happen between the races, and saying,
yeah, you should have just said it like that the first time.
Well, I've been saying it like that, but that's what I'm saying. But like,
no, you didn't say it like that.
I had that was at the beginning of what I said. I'll listen back to it, but like, I'm pretty sure that was. I'm not
saying it wasn't close. It's just the words. I was like, wait, I don't know. That made a lot more sense in terms of that picture, that definition, because that I could speak to, like, because what you're basically talking about, because in terms of the trivialization, and I caught that part in terms of how you think things are trivial. I was just like, where are you tying it back to? Yeah. So right now you're like, I get the point in terms of not falling to the waysides, but now you're like, look at what having that mindset allows people to do. Is basically kind of what you're saying. Because if a person comes up and goes, your experience doesn't matter, your identity, everything you've been to doesn't matter, I get to decide how I treat you. Now we've gone a step further.
Right.
And I was gonna talk about that too, so I get you. But now we're taking the extra step, and we're like, oh, so how are you deciding how to treat this person? Because if it isn't with compassion and consideration of what they've been through and are experiencing and going through, then you're deciding based on what the fuck you want on how to treat a person. And that's where we run into the problem.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm speaking.
No, yeah. I asked you to re-explain for a reason. I ain't dumb. I couldn't get it the first time. I'm sorry. I was like, where I got lost is better to say. Not that I couldn't understand you. I just wasn't able to draw things back. So, okay. Now, in that sense, yeah, you're right. And that does happen all the time. And sure, there are plenty of people who are like, yo, we should be thinking about, doing more than this.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I get it. I get, the Black people are suffering in their communities. But, climate change is like, so much more problematic for all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Types of attitudes. No, I get that. That I get. Sadly, the only thing you can really do in terms of people like that is honestly, unfortunately, like more education, because people can just be insensitive. People can be insensitive, calloused people. And the fact is, it comes down to opinion and what do you feel like they're
uneducated? Like that's their problem, is that they're uneducated?
In terms of what we're talking about, in terms of kind of this tribalism debate / semantic talk on identity and tribalism and what is more important. Yeah, I do. Because I hear that same argument all the time. I've been there. I've been the dude myself who I'm like, yo, I'm more than just, a Black man. You know what I mean? While at the same time feeling guilty because it's like, oh, wait, do I think I'm better than a Black man? The obvious answer is no, but that wasn't the point in the first place. But, you'll feel like that in our society because you're like, I want to be so much more. And then like you were saying, it's as if you trivialize something, even though you're not, because it isn't about trivializing anything.
But like, what is bad with just being a Black man?
So, and see, you want to have the argument with me right now?
But like, that's part of like the core of what I was
so
bringing
in terms
up
of the education, sure.
You know what I mean?
I can do that. I don't mind. In terms of education, obviously, like, no, there isn't anything wrong with being a Black man. But now the real question is, because once again, I'm saying that's why there isn't anything wrong. Sure, there isn't anything wrong with being a Black man. But what does that mean to you?
Like, what is a Black man?
And I'm not talking about asking that question to ourselves, Logan. I'm not talking about what does being a Black man mean to us, because that isn't a thing. Being a Black man to you and me is us.
Right.
I am who I am. You are who you are.
Right.
So it isn't about that, you know what I mean? It's about who comes asking after us. Who's outside coming to us and like, hey, Black man, what does that mean to you? And oftentimes it doesn't mean a person capable of being much more than just what society has labeled it. Because don't forget, race and all this shit is just labels people placed on us. We won't get into that because that's a whole nother thing.
You're on.
Do you want to get into that? Because I'm not trying to. I'm trying to stay on topic.
Because what I was gonna say in response
in line
to that,
with what I'm saying.
Yeah. What I was gonna say in response to that is that I think sometimes we worry just about like how people are going to treat us based off of who we are
and how they perceive us. Yeah.
And how
I hate to bring up those astrological signs, but that is the reason you had that set up with the rising sign in terms of how people perceive you. You have to recognize it isn't only an I. There is a we. It isn't just me. When I look in the mirror, sometimes I go outside and I see a whole bunch of other people's faces. I'm not inside their heads. I'm only inside mine.
Okay, but here's the core of my gripe then.
Okay, go ahead.
Since we got here, which I'm glad we did.
Yeah,
but here is like the core of my gripe is that you're right. We can't really regulate how one individual treats another individual, right?
Yeah, which is one of the main problems, of course.
Yes and no. Because what we do regulate is how we as a society decide that we should all treat each other. You know what I mean? So why is it that we always get to the calculus that it would be better not to be who I am before I ask society to respect me than to just have society respect me?
Now, you know that is something we agree on, and that is an answer I don't have the answer to.
Because, like, that's what I mean. Like, if...
I get that. Yeah.
What if I just wanted to be just Black and that's what it meant to me? Like, why does it have to be this thing where, like, if your outlook about Black people is bad, I can't change that.
Right.
But what I can ensure is that, like, when you treat me, you need to make sure that you treat me in a respectable manner. Like, you don't have to like me. You know what I mean? Like we get so hung up on that. I think sometimes, like, whether or not the prejudice is going to change their mind about being prejudiced, and all we're doing is like catering.
But no, wait. I have to say something on that because that's not the hang up. That isn't the hang up. That's not what we get hung up on for any of us at all as Black, white, Asian, Indigenous. What we get hung up on is when we come in and interact with each other. What we get hung up on because of, like I was saying earlier, lack of trust, lack of really knowing where someone's coming from is, why did that person treat me like that? And were they treating me like that based on how I look and how they perceive me, where I'm from and shit like that? Because we don't actually know. And
no, that's not true. I hear that all the time that we don't know, but like I know.
Well,
like, I know when somebody being racist to me.
Obviously there's difference in example, but I'm talking about the times when we don't know, Logan. Because obviously there are times where it's easy to know. Obviously, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but there are other times where you're like, where you just met an asshole dude. And dude was an asshole, but you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you racist bum? And you're like, oh, okay. But dude didn't necessarily do anything to the limit of where we would consider maybe a hate crime. They were just an asshole that day. We've all been an asshole in our lives once or twice.
But a lot of racism isn't a hate crime. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. But I'm not trying to have that argument just yet. You can have that one later if you like, because of course we have it.
No.
I'm just saying in terms of you can't always 100% for perfect really know. Unless in that moment you do, because there's enough evidence for you to be like, nah, that motherfucker's racist. It's on the fucking wall.
I struggle with that concept because...
And we all struggle with that. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the problems. We all struggle with that concept.
Here's what I struggle with. I struggle with it because of the fact that I feel like I've been Black long enough to know when somebody doesn't like me because I'm Black. And I feel like it doesn't get better. Like I don't get more ignorant of my Blackness as I grow older. You know what I mean? Like I kind of get more steeped into it the more I grow older. You know what I mean? So it's like when somebody asks me like, how do you know? Like I feel like a lot of like edgy white boys like to ask that sometimes. Like, how do you know like that person was being racist? And it's like, I've only been Black since like birth. You know what I mean? Like I've only had like people treat me the way they treat me my whole life, whether it was good, bad, or in between. And it's like, it's not that some racism isn't complicated and not that some racism isn't hard to prove. Like it's pretty hard to prove that like they didn't like that they rejected your loan because you were Black and not just because you had bad credit. You know what I mean? It can be hard to know that.
And it's moments like that I refer to because it's only really moments specific like that where, and that isn't the best example. If you have like an 800
credit score and then you're a Harvard MBA and like you got all this stacked up on you, and then like you find out that your white friend that had none of that shit had a 600 credit score.
We got to go talk to the teller real quick. We gotta go talk to the teller. But Logan, again, we're not talking about those moments. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this problem.
Thing, but that's what I mean. Like,
no, it is. I know. I've been saying that it is a hard thing, bro.
Yes, that is hard to prove. But what I'm saying is that like there's like this attitude about it being hard to prove that is like it's like you can't prove it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, so and that's not what I'm saying here either. But no, I get that.
No, I get you. But like what I'm saying is that I'm just trying to speak to something. Is just that like. It's not as complicated as we want to make it sometimes, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's actually better to say we don't care enough to pay better attention. And I'm not meaning me and you. I mean, that's the real problem. People don't actually care enough to do better diligence and be aware. And once again, so back to my earlier answer, that's why I think the issue isn't just education. And I don't mean education in terms of just academic. I
do feel like it's a willful ignorance.
Sometimes,
because I feel like there's like I talk about this a lot, but I remember during like the Trump era where like this is me like growing up really and me like figuring out like how not to respond to everybody and like how everything isn't important and how I don't need to have like certain friends just because their opinion like
right.
It was like
part of growing up.
It was that, for me, like, and I remember like, having some white friends that were like, lost about the whole Trump thing, about what to do with their families. And it's just like, even think about it now, it's like you knew your family was like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I know, like, that's what I don't understand. My family, personally, I know their prejudices. Let me say it like that. Mm-hmm. Right? My family isn't perfect angels. So, like, if a politician came out and supported their worst demons, and then they voted for that person, like, I would know why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was this thing that happened, like this phenomena that happened. And it wasn't just to the people I knew, but like people all over, all online and stuff were like asking people in like forums and shit, like what should they do about their family member that's a Trump supporter? And it's just like, to me, it feels like there's a willful ignorance that you get to live in with that type of privilege. Like there's a willful ignorance that you get to live in where you don't have to think about racism in a way where you got to ignore it in your family right next to you every day forever.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Until it decided to grab like a blowhorn and like just shout in your ear. And now you're like, well, what do I do to get rid of this nagging sound? You know? It's like, what do I do to deal with this? When that was the problem the whole time. You know what I mean? So it's not that I take issue. Like some people truly do need education, like you're saying. But I do feel like sometimes
Logan,
there's
hear
a
me out,
willful
though.
ignorance about it. Like,
well, that's the thing.
They
like,
don't want to know. You know,
my solution is education, yes, but I also still recognize the fact of the matter is, as sad as and unhopeful as this is going to sound, education isn't going to work for everybody. Because yes, I absolutely agree. There is a willful ignorance. You don't fight that with education. There's nothing you can do about that. Shit, it'd be easier to take a stick to somebody's ass and be like, "Yo, you gonna do this now?" And you laugh, because I remember, as I said last night, all white supremacy respects is also finance.
I laugh because you are so Haitian. Like it's
just, bro. And I know, and I hate when I sound like that. But it's like, because we're on this subject now, and it's like, how do you deal with willful ignorance? Because education isn't the answer. You have to really reach out to someone, but like, are they going to respond well?
No, I don't know how you deal with willful ignorance, to be honest.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because I don't have the full answer on that.
Even my most sympathetic feels like willful ignorance is just like you're afraid that it's you, and you don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? It's like there's
psychoanalysis.
There's sexism. No, there's sexism that happens that like I'm like, ooh. Like, is that me too? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then sometimes it be me too.
Yeah.
It's always like, it's tough to deal with that. It's tough to put yourself in that position where you're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to fuck up my day with now. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you have to decide what type of person you want to be. Like, who you are going to sleep as that night. You know? Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like that I feel like that is a much more important thing than whether or not I want to recognize that I'm doing harm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, yeah. It's tough call. But you can't make people, that's what like psychoanalysis, I don't know, because the only way for a person to come to that conclusion is to willfully come to it. In my experience, I'm not a professional though yet, exactly, but in my experience, what I've seen is someone's going to make that realization. It doesn't come from them being told about said realization.
No, you're completely
on certain
right.
things, but like,
yeah,
you have to understand on some level what you're doing. It doesn't take a fucking Harvard degree to realize that, but you have to have that sense of compassion and empathy in you. If you don't, I honestly don't know how to build that. I wish I did. Because that's the problem we have in our country. That's the problem with the patriarchy, because it beats all the compassion and empathy out of you in the first place. So it's like, but how do you build that back up in someone?
Sometimes compassion and empathy is knowing when to walk away, though. Too.
Well, also true, but even still, like, it's just the basic point. Like, I don't know what gets that into someone right. I don't know what you do to properly have someone use those muscles, for lack of a better word. You feel me?
Well, something has to change for them. Like, I feel like something has to change for them. Like, you can't, like,
that's fair to say.
Like, some like I can't
But
watch
what
somebody
has to change.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Sometimes compassion and empathy does mean removing yourself from the situation. It does mean walking away, because sometimes the best thing.
Because we're talking about building it in the person with lack of it, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean it helps them in terms of you just like leaving and stuff?
Yeah, that sometimes that helps.
So that I don't know if I could agree with.
Because sometimes that's the wake up call.
Like, oh my God. I like how you're saying sometimes we hope that one works. And on some level, sure, maybe it does.
But that is
like the only other solution we have. That seems like that's all we got. That's all we got,
but
bro.
sometimes it is that way, because like I'm like if I did something and like you or somebody I love didn't want to talk to me anymore, I have to like stop and like think about like what that is.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And like sometimes we are keeping people from doing that type of reflection. Sometimes we're very much in the way. Yeah, because they just use our bodies as the shield for it, but they don't ever get to see like, hey, this is something that's actually like, it doesn't, how could it be serious if it's not so serious that you won't leave me alone about it? You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes that is needed. Sometimes it is needed for somebody to be like, hey, no, this hurts me so much that I don't know if I can fuck with you, and you need to think about that. Like, it's just like,
bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah.
I hope not forever, but if you keep acting like this forever, sorry.
Yeah. Literally. Tell me about Stranger Things. How do you think about it so far?
That's about Stranger Things right now. Spoilers. I'm only into like, I just finished episode 4, I think. Hold on, let me check. Where was I at? Yeah, I'm gonna check right now. And just start watching the episode during.
There's like what, 7, 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
Together?
Yeah.
Personally, they didn't need to split that in half.
No, they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. But yeah, so I'm on episode 5, so I can't even really. I've been enjoying the fuck out of it. I think like legit teared up during one of the scenes for whatever reason. And almost cried, but then kept myself from crying because I had issues. The scene, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The scene where Max she got taken to the Upside Down by Vecna, and she had wrote all of them the letters, and like she gets put on the spire, and then they open up the gate for her, and she's like thinking like she deserves this because of the guilt, and then she's like remembering the good times with their friends and is able to escape from him. And during this with the bill, to be honest, in terms of the cinematic moment, like who's ever directing this, I'm like, fuck, you got me, shit. This shouldn't have hit me like this, but for whatever, I don't know what happened, but this shit hit a nigga like too hard. I was like, yo, fuck. Literally just, I was like, what is happening? I was like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. Oh my God, like what the fuck? I was like, yo, Max, yeah, it's gonna be free. So that got me teared up a little bit. But yeah, when she finally like breaks free and gets out to the friends, I was just like, I wish I was better at crying, because that was it. Because that was fucking it, man.
That did it for you, huh?
Bro, that scene had me just like, yo, it'd be like that though. Like, you just be feeling like you want to get away from like all you people and be forgetting about the good times you have, but it can't be helped. It's just you be going through shit.
No,
you know what I mean, you're going through shit and you feel like you have to deal with it alone. You feel like people don't understand, and it's hard to reach out and connect, and you turn to other things. And then like, I think I was happy for her because like, at least in that moment, because you know she's going through a lot, but at least in that moment she was like, yo, I don't have to just let death take me. Because it's the scene itself is almost a metaphor for suicide. Maybe that's why it had me tearing up subconsciously. My subconscious was like, yo, this
I
is
didn't think of it like that.
When you think about it, I'm just thinking about that now because they're talking. But like when I think about it, like she was almost giving up, and that's kind of like how suicide is. The dude, Vecna's playing off of her guilt. You know, it's a driving force for her in terms of not feeling like she needs to be here. She's taking all those drugs and really just detaching away from everything, and she's not fighting. Yeah. Suicide is when you stop fighting to live. And in that moment, she was ready to stop fighting. She was like, all right, well, he's got me. I'm just going to give up. And then she saw the light through to her friends, and she was like, nah, work. I want to live. I actually want to live. And that really matters. That's really important. Oh my God, fight like all hell. And she remembered because she had a chance.
I was thinking about how like when I saw it, like, just like I did get the guilt thing. So like what I was thinking about is like how guilt like tries to keep you from seeing those things like how guilt tries to keep you living in guilt.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you just feel guilty and it's over. Like guilt is like, nah, you live here now. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do actually very, very much. And so that's why the scene had hit me like that, because I was just like, but it was also just pretty as fuck. I was really feeling for Max, and I was like, oh damn. And I was just saying that I was like, Max, no. Because you see how they got Max living now. You see what they done did to my girl. Like, Max going through it, bro. Max going fucking through it, bro. L2, I was going through it, but on some level, I think I feel worse for Max. The only thing L's got is that L's being bullied, but like for like Max going through it, bro. Max from the wrong side of the tracks and shit now, bro. Like,
but wasn't she always? She was always like, trailer park girl.
No, she wasn't. Mom and Pop's together, like they wasn't living that bad. They didn't have a great circumstances, but it wasn't that. But now it's that bro. The parents were still together. Remember, she had the stepdad. They were making things better. Yeah,
that's right.
They weren't living too bad.
Yeah.
And then Pops is gone now, and now she was on the road, and we was just hoping, and then now she's just there, bro.
Technically, she's better off because like Pops was a psychopath.
Well, I mean, Pops was annoying, but I mean, in the sense,
annoying. He beat the shit out of his son.
Billy, yeah. You're right. But to be honest, shit. Let me not say it, because with white people it's weird. With white people it's weird. Like, I'm sorry. He got whooped. I hate to be that guy, but I'm just saying. I hate to be that guy, but he got whooped. His dad punished him a few times. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, oops. Oh, damn. Oops. Shit. Oh, my fault. First time, huh? First time? Like, shit, did you wake up in your bed? You got food in the... Like, let me not. I'm sorry. Let me not. Because we know how white people is. We know it's tough for them. We know it's tough for them sometimes.
Okay, Kevin Samuels. All right.
But like my main point is, it's still, I mean, yeah, Billy was getting a lot, but the fact is, like, in terms of what happened, in terms of her environment, it was better to at least have those two incomes for the environment she had. She had her friends. Now she's just straight up horrible environment, bro. Mm-mm. There was some, even though Billy was, and Max wasn't dealing as much with that. Billy was dealing with that. And
that's true.
Not to be an asshole, Billy was an asshole.
Yeah, but like Billy was an asshole because his dad was an asshole.
No, we're not sure about that. We just like to assume.
Oh my God. Wow. You're a real pro abusive dad right now. Like, it's just like
I'm not saying his father wasn't abusive. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying it seemed to me that all Pops was wanting was for Billy to like not be doing the shit that Billy does, which unfortunately made him act worse towards Billy, which made Billy do all the shit he does. Listen, I told you, white people are strange. They both just needed therapy. They would have been fine. He left. He's dead now. So anyway.
Omni-Man supporter over here.
Well, I support Omni-Man. You haven't read the comic books. That's why you don't. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. That's a whole different conversation I don't have time for. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, in terms of Max's immediate environment, a 2-parent household means you'll be living, at least your living circumstances. Forgive me. At least in terms of just your living circumstances. Now, she's living in the trailer park where all the poor people live, who the rest of the town thinks not going to amount to anything. Come on, dude. That's serious, like, shit that you're dealing with now.
No, you're right.
And so, like, she went from last season to this, and it's just like, yo, she going through it, bro. And then she's dealing with Vecna due to the guilt she deals over Billy, as if she's not already feeling enough, bro. And then she just gets that one moment to be like, yo, it's like teaching the moment again, like, yeah, shit's bad, but at least I'm alive. Because it's hard to be thankful for life when you're dealing with bullshit. But you do still have to live your life and try your best to get out of wherever you are. You can't just stay in the darkness and be like, this is it. That's the problem. That's how you spiritually die on a level. You literally just like, this is it. I ain't never going to amount to nothing. What's the point anyway? And on some level, I like resonated that with a lot. And it was just like, and I was literally just like, nah, man, you don't give up. Just like run. And it was like a reminder to me too. Cause it's always better seeing it or hearing of someone else. You know what I mean? And it was like, yeah, go fight for yours, Max. And so that's how that made me feel.
That's great.
That last episode, because like I was literally just, and I was watching upstairs on our TV, but I had to come down here because I was getting ready for the show, and I was still just watching here. That's why I was like, when you had started, I was like, you interrupted Stranger Things. I was watching Stranger Things, damn it, because I just literally finished watching that one and was into the next, and was just like, nah, there's too much going on right now.
What do you feel about
Let's do the show next week.
What do you feel about like the acting on the show?
So remember, I've only seen the first 4 episodes and I just started 5, so don't spoil anything. In terms of acting on the show, everyone's pretty solid except for what's Elle's boyfriend's name? Oh my God. What's Elle's boyfriend's name again? I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He was never like the shining star, but I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. But I'm just like, what are you giving me? Max is giving me these great performances. Fucking Millie's out here like killing shit, dealing with like being bullied. Bro, Millie's out here I'm ready to be like, I'm literally, in some of the like first 2 episodes, I'm literally like, I can't watch this shit, yo. I can't watch them do this to her. I can't watch them do this to her. Her dad's a hero. Her dad's a hero, you assholes. I literally, and then we get her fucking, I forget his name because he just had me upset right now. We get to him and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
What is his name? I can't remember it right now.
I don't know. Lucas, Dustin, Robin, who's, oh my God, Robin is like killing right now. The actress playing Robin is like fucking killing right now, bro. But like, I'm getting to him and I'm just like, bruh. I think honestly, everyone on the show right now is killing. Acting to me has been phenomenal. Not necessarily like creme de la creme for all of them. I always get his
name mixed up with Will's.
Who? Oh, the character name. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for real.
Will also doing a decent job. It's only him, really. I'm like literally just watching
he's not good this
bro. The fucking security guards that are not even mattering. What is wrong with you?
He's like, and I do love you, Elle.
Bro, I just watched that shit. I was sitting there like, and like, don't get me wrong, because he is supposed to be feeling like he doesn't know what to feel, but I'm just sitting, I'm like, no, bro, the confliction is a lot. It's like I'm literally I've gone off of just fucking like audience member because I'm just in trying to enjoy, and this nigga makes me like go like, yo, nigga, like no, cut, come here, you little fucking, the fuck are you doing? Fucking Millie, go take 10, Millie, I gotta talk. Fuck are you doing? Okay, Mike, yes, you don't know how to express your love for her, but you have to be choked up about the love. You can't just, why are you so dry right now, boy? Damn it, we spent $1 million on this shit, nigga, come on.
It's like that scene, like she's like giving her all.
She's giving him everything. And she doesn't have to do too much, but she's giving you everything you need, bro. She's giving you everything you need. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yo, get him out of the game. Yo, you're benched. You're benched. Where's Elle's boyfriend? I don't remember character name. Where's the stand-in for Elle's boyfriend? Yeah, get the fuck in there. Yo, I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God if you fuck this up. Get the fuck in there.
I keep wanting to call him Nick for some reason. Like, I don't know what his name is.
It's not Nick, I don't know his name. Millie, yo, someone do Millie's makeup. Millie, you're doing great, sweetheart. Keep it up. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up with him, bro. But like, everything else in terms of acting, I think has been great. And I just met fucking Yuri,
Mike,
who I hate.
That's his name.
Mike, right. Mike's his name. That's which is why you wanted to say Nick.
Yeah,
I'm like, Mike, what is up with you, bro? You're like disconnected from the character as fuck this season. I don't know what's going on. I hope it ramps up because he's been out of the loop with everything, but now they just even now, like he just discovered what's happening with Elle, and he's like showing he cares and doing a lot with his body, but I'm not feeling it mentally, Mike.
I get if you don't want to be on the show no more.
Oh, right? Was that a thing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
but like,
damn.
I get if you don't want to do the show no more.
But why wouldn't you give your all in this show though?
No, that's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Is that like if you don't want to be on the show no more, that's cool, right? But what you can't do is not have any other shows lined up,
bro,
and not want to be on this one show that you are on,
hey, bro.
You got to do other shit too. Like you got to sing, maybe dance, like something. Like you can't just be bad on the only show that anybody knows you from.
Really got you some acclaim, yeah, bro. Like, why are you dropping the bag like this? I don't understand. You was fine in the first few. You weren't necessarily the star, and don't get me wrong, it's hard to be overshadowed by Millie Bobby Brown, but like still, Like, I know that's not easy, but all the
movies now, like,
bro, I know. But everybody else in that show, like, I mean, and then Caleb McLaughlin's gonna be fine, of course, too.
Yeah.
But like, yo, bro, you still gotta, put in some work, dude. This is Stranger Things. You're a staple. What's going on, buddy? And the truth, like, everything else is a joke. In truth, I just want to give him a little pep talk. Like, what's going on, man?
Out of all the kids, fucking Dustin gives like the best performance.
Dustin be killing.
Like,
yeah,
he
Dustin
be killing that shit. Like, he does not play around with. I would
say Dustin. Shit, I want to give it to Lucas, but I think it'd be Dustin, Will, Lucas, and then Mike. Dustin,
the boys?
Yeah, Dustin, Will, Lucas, and then Mike. I want to give it to Lucas second, but like, nah, it's Dustin, Will, and a lot of the time when Dustin and Lucas, they work well together. Their scenes are really good.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I can't per se give it to Caleb. Because it's like, you get your best when you're working with Dustin almost sometimes.
Later on in the season, because you haven't watched that much, but like Will, like he just starts acting. Like,
bro, I told you, bro, he's number 2, bro. He would be 1. We just didn't get we don't get a lot of screen time with Will though.
No, you get more.
We're getting getting it now because it makes sense to, but before we couldn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like number 2, this nigga was in the upside down, bro.
Yeah, he was just like
he was in the upside down, like
shuddering and shit. Yeah, that was
bro. I'm like, nah, he's there. Nah, he's good. We can keep him. Millie, all right, yeah, Will, keep, all right, just keep it like that. No, you good. You good, Will. All right. Millie, get the fuck over here.
His character is a little weird, though, because it's like he can sense, like, the supernatural shit that's going on, but they don't say he has, like, powers.
Who told you that? Who said that he could sense the shit that's going on?
He said that shit.
Yeah, but he didn't mean it. He meant, like, when weird shit's going on, I sometimes get tingles. I don't know why. This isn't, I can sense it. Nigga's not Blade all of a sudden, bro. which for the record were Blade's original powers. I didn't make that joke to make him a vampire hunter. When Blade originally got bit, he could just sense the supernatural.
Will has the spider tingle.
He got vampire powers. Yeah, he
does. Yeah, like
but that's all it is. It isn't because it's not like he went through what 11 went through. It's not like he got to test any of that. He just got thrown into some shit, and so now when stuff happens, sometimes he feels shit. He doesn't have any control of that shit at all. He doesn't even get to have a say. He probably doesn't even want to deal with that shit. It's just like, hey, what? The mind thing moved into town. Will, you good? Man, I'm getting so sick of this shit, man. I'm getting so sick of this shit, man. I was just trying to fucking Kirsty Jones is just about to kiss me, my nigga. Like, what you mean? I can't even have my dreams no more, God. Why? Straight up, bro. Like, that's Will, bro. Ain't no, like, why haven't they said he has powers? Because that's really not it. Like, it's not how it works. Like, I mean, technically, yeah, but like, no, he's not 11 out here, bro. He's a fucking victim.
I like that meme.
He's a victim, bro.
I sent y'all that meme earlier today. I like that meme where like fucking it was like it's making fun of Stranger Things fans because like all 11 does is like put her hand out and scream when she does it. Like,
and all the Stranger Things, yeah! Which is true. Which is we're all like
which is so funny because I was thinking about that today and it's like they don't like update her powers. Like her powers are the same fucking powers.
Hey man, that's how it is sometimes. She's not like it isn't. She's a psychic though too. Remember,
but she doesn't power scale. Like, it's like they don't give her new powers.
No. She has been scaling, but she hasn't been like there. It's not necessarily specific levels that you can write out. It's just that like she's a psychic kid, right? You know what I mean? It isn't necessarily here about explaining the levels. It's just about the amplification or lack of amplification. It's like either she's really powerful or she's not. Yeah, they keep it dry, but like I can't say that she doesn't scale. She went from like being in the lab to barely doing shit. I can flip a car sometimes, and then she took out an entire mind flayer beast and sent it back. And you know what I mean? Right. It scales in that way. There's a way of describing it, actually, in terms of writing. It's actually a real thing. I forget the exact term, but it's like hard magic against soft magic.
Okay.
Like when you go into, let's say Naruto, if someone's just looking at it, it looks like a whole bunch of dudes casting spells, but the system they work with is very complex.
Right.
In terms of how chakra works, it's very specific, which is why if we're talking Naruto and, you know, trying to describe powers and attacks to use in that world, it's an entirely different conversation.
Right.
And then there's like light magic, which is things aren't necessarily super drawn out and detailed, but nonetheless, there's enough there for you to like really pay attention and connect with. And that's kind of more what we're dealing with in terms of Eleven and her powers in Stranger Things. Nothing's necessarily specific. We're not being given that. We know she has powers, psychic abilities, astral projection abilities and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they get amplified. Sometimes they're weakened. And for the most part, in terms of the show, that's all you need. It doesn't really... It would kind of ruin the appeal if they tried to make it a hard magic system. Because, like, that's not... Stranger Thing isn't about Eleven's powers. You feel me? It's not even about 11. No, it's not. Like, I mean, of course she's a lead character, but it's not about her.
She's like
it's not
the lead character. It's
yeah,
like
but it's an ensemble piece. But no, it's an ensemble piece.
Is it?
It's about yes, yes. We've seen all the seasons.
I guess. Kind of.
We've seen all the seasons. We've seen everything, and they even do it like that, where you can watch the show, and even though Eleven's like the main character, it never actually feels like that because of how well of an ensemble piece it is. It's just she plays her part.
Season 2 was lacking because they had her on side quest the whole time.
Because the show isn't about her.
She's like literally the
show's
most
not
valuable piece of the show.
The show's about Hawkins.
Is it? No,
yes.
See, it's not really about that place. It's not really about that place. I can't believe you're doing
this right now, bro.
I
don't even mean that in terms of like ignoring 11. I just mean when you think about how they're going about with the show, if you think in terms of what the show is actually about, yes, of course, 11's one of our star characters, but it's all about whatever the fuck is happening at Hawkins and why is this happening at Hawkins and the multitude of characters we have in Hawkins, which is how it's always been. Now, 11 plays her really, really fucking big part, but it's still why we get all the shit happening with the other characters. Why we get fucking Nancy and Robin going to see a fucking dude and interview him. Why we get fucking Dustin and what's his name having their little character moments and all that shit. We get so much of that shit too. Like, they couldn't just do the show about all 11 because it'd kind of be boring. And then we'd have a different show. We'd have an entirely different show. Not saying it'd be bad. I'm just saying we'd have an entirely different show.
Listen. We can list the characters in order of importance on the show.
Yes, and I get that. I'm not saying I don't understand that, bro.
Close to the second most important character on the show. Like if you killed 11 off in season 3, what are we watching in season 4?
Them try to deal with shit that they have no means of dealing with and probably
they ain't dealing with shit.
Yeah, they'd have to figure something out.
What are they gonna do? Find the rest of the kids that are like
I don't know, but literally, and so you say that, but literally what this season has been is them doing that.
They didn't find nobody else that had powers except for 11?
No, and I'm saying they haven't been dealing with everything in terms of 11's powers. They're like, 11's powers are gone, we're all scared. Yeah. Hey, yo, we still have to do something. That's been this entire season.
Yeah,
which they've technically done. They saved Max today, so.
And still yet, the only reason we're so concerned about her powers is because she's the most important character on the show.
No, because that's the only person we think can deal with the main antagonist.
That's not true.
Logan.
What about
who else do we think? Okay, shout out to Harp. Shout out to Hop. Don't get me wrong. Hopper's a G. Yo, that man, that's a bad man. I love him to death. But no, okay, shut up, okay? Just shut up.
I just had to make that joke because me and Sarah have been making fun of the way Millie Bobby Brown says Papa. Like, it's just
you guys are horrible, bro.
Every time, I don't understand why as 11, when she says Papa, she has to go, Papa. It's like she does.
Yeah, it's not even, bro. She's autistic, bro. Let the girl alone.
She's not autistic.
She's so autistic.
She literally be
or
like,
she on the spectrum. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Maybe,
and that's definitely how Millie plays her. For the record,
she does play her like that, but she's
like not per se full autistic, of course not. But she definitely has to on some level play her like on the spectrum. Because
I don't understand 11's backstory, to be honest. I don't necessarily understand it.
Fuck? What do you mean?
Because
it's even in the new season. They even added more for it in the new season.
I know, but like, is she autistic? Is she feral? Like, what is her real deal?
Bro, come on, man. You're a child raised entirely outside of a normal lifehood, and you're a child raised to be an ESP soldier.
Yeah.
In a lab.
I guess.
And then spoiler.
But none of the other kids have that problem. Like they don't like.
Who told you that? Which of the other kids have we really seen?
Oh, you haven't seen any of the other kids yet.
Well, I've like see them all die.
That's at the beginning, but you
okay. Well, spoiler alert! Sorry. Spoiler alert, bro. But thanks for ruining shit.
You know that there's other kids. You just
I know that because of the earlier seasons, not because of this one.
Yeah, well, you knew there was other kids.
You're horrible at this.
Like number two. Number 2 was like I
knew there were other kids, but for me, understand from my perspective, all I saw was all of them die. From my perspective, that's all the kids.
Shout out to number 2 for escaping that.
Yo, shit. I gotta know how you. Oh, another spoiler? Oh, thanks.
No, because I'm saying if all of them
obviously
are dead,
he had to. Yeah, that better be. That better be the case. That better be the fucking case.
Stop
Logan.
it. This is from season 2. Stop.
All right, but no, I know. But how do we really know that?
That what?
That the kids aren't also like on the spectrum.
Oh,
in truth, we really don't.
That seems a little problematic. Be like
to say people are on the spectrum?
No, to say that's why they have superpowers is they're on the spectrum.
No, I didn't. No, but I didn't say it like that.
But the process, you, the show. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, but I mean the process that got them the superpowers left scars.
I guess, yeah.
Mind you, I'm not even saying they're actually autistic. I just mean in comparison to how they behave, like it's spectrum behavior. Like you see how Millie's been going on in school.
Yeah.
She can't talk to anybody. She's not as social. Her English isn't as good.
I wish they would have delved into that more, to be honest.
Technically, they're giving us a little bit of it, but expecting us to do the heavy lifting.
I don't want to do that, no.
Oh, you're the one who wants. You're the one who hates when people just tell you everything.
I do, but part of entertainment is that like I don't have to do all the heavy. I don't want to do that.
Wow, bro. Like, anyway, you're the one who. That's what good film is for you. Not being spoon fed the story.
No, good film is not spoon feeding me the story and making me feel like I did all of the work while I did absolutely none of it.
Oh wow. Okay. Thank you for explaining that because that makes more sense.
It's like giving me weights that say 500 pounds, but they're really just full of air. Like that's what I need.
I can't stand you so much right now, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that
later too.
That's good film.
We'll get to that later, but yeah, that's what they did. They kind of showed it. That's what they gave us her being in school for. Her lying and all this shit. That's hey guys, this is how Elle socially interacts with people because she doesn't know how to socially interact with people.
Right.
She's good at. You didn't see the clue. She's good at math. She's not doing too well in English, but them scores in math is through the roof. Because she ain't had to learn to interact with people. She's had to learn to.
I never really. How much is this? It wasn't until this season that I was like, is she autistic? But you bring up a lot of good points, and then like even just watching it did feel that way. And I don't know if that's like just they're like trying to like shoehorn that in now.
A little bit. Also,
like,
the hitting
like always like that in the beginning.
There was a big hitting instance, and you remember that. And of course, me and you would be like, oh, that girl had it coming. Because she did. I would have just smacked her. Maybe not rollerbladed face. I would have just smacked her. But there's the hitting episode. And who else do we know? What other, margins of society we know might do that if they're like, feeling very, very bothered or they're dealing with a lot.
Okay. Well, no, sorry. I want to smack that bitch.
All right, I guess I should have just seen that coming. I just kind of walked into that one technically, but I figured you weren't going to do that. But he did. He did, y'all, so I guess we have to deal with it. In any case, she had that hitting episode, and that's a really bad sign too. You know what I mean? So they could be doing that, but I don't know. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, which is another thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it's certainly looking like that when you look at her behavior. But when you think about how her behavior has been this entire time, like...
Yeah, they did try to like... her a little
she
bit.
Is kind of
it's not good. Yeah.
There were things, she had certain strengths, she had certain weaknesses. That's always been the case. It's just now she doesn't have superpowers. So all we're doing is going, yo, what's up with her?
Yeah.
Because before we'd be like, because listen, if Superman was going around being like, hey, what's going on? And then everyone's like, oh, hey, Superman. but then went and lifted a fucking meteor out from the earth and came back, we're not gonna give a fuck when he come back like,
that's
hey,
true.
You guys having fun? Yeah, Superman, we love you, bro. Just, come hang out. If anything, we're still gonna try to be his best friend, bro. And that's another thing they draw on in the season, because, that's one thing happening with Elle. She's like, who am I? Why doesn't Mike love me?
Yeah.
Mike's like, you're a superhero. She's like, shit, I was a superhero, but what's a superhero with no superpowers?
Batman.
Oh, a hero? Yo, no.
I got all the answers today.
Batman. Except Elle's not on Batman's path, so sadly, no. A superhero with no superpowers. Elle is Superman off that kryptonite. Yeah, Elle's Superman off that kryptonite.
That's messed up.
Messed up, but true. Niggas don't fuck with Superman when he on kryptonite. You know why? Because Superman don't fuck with Superman when he on kryptonite. I ain't nothing to fuck with.
You just did a very deep philosophical thing. People won't fuck with you if you won't fuck with you. Keep your confidence.
True. If anything you take away from this argument right now, this discussion right now that you should be taking away, because there's a lot of things you should not be taking away.
Yes.
But the things you should be taking away is that people don't fuck with you if you don't. That confidence is key. Love yourself. Absolute.
Definitely.
Because Elle most certainly is not right now.
You behind. Like, you need to catch up.
Bro,
there's so much shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to literally probably binge it because I'm hooked now. I'm like, fuck, I can't stop now, nigga. Goddamn.
I can't believe you haven't seen The Boys. Damn.
No, well, I don't have Prime. I haven't seen The Boys. I haven't watched Obi-Wan yet. I'm probably going to do that after I finish Stranger Things.
How do you not watch Obi-Wan?
Because I haven't been watching. I am a mentally ill person, Logan. I don't know why I do some things that I do. I don't know. Sometimes I just be like, why are you doing this, bro? And it's just small, little, insignificant shit. And I'm like, why would you? Like, I don't know. I'm doing it now, though. I'm catching up.
Okay, that's good. I wanted to talk about one other thing before we got out of here.
Okay.
Because this is something that kind of bothered me recently. Like, something happened to me. So, all right. So everybody knows that I like to come on the show. I like to talk about like workers' rights, and I like to talk about how, basically you should get the most out of your job, and you shouldn't just let people walk all over you, and you shouldn't let
Factual statements made.
Other managers walk over you or walk over somebody else. Like, we as workers need to be able to work together, like definitely tell each other like what you're getting paid so we can all get paid right. You know what I mean? And a little bit of that was put to the test for me recently. Mm-hmm. Because what happened was I did let some people know that I was getting paid more than them. And then...
No, that's what happened to you? Wow, you had this entire... Oh, never mind. Just keep going.
No. It gets worse.
Okay.
And then what happened was...
Oh, wait. You're talking about at your job?
Yes.
You finally told people what you made?
I had told people what I made a long time ago. But the longest time, I had only been working part-time where they had been working full-time. But the rate that I was getting was higher than what they were getting per hour. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that because in the beginning, I was asking everybody what they were making because I was trying to get a grasp of what they got,
Right.
But I didn't necessarily say anything until like somebody else would say something. You know what I mean? So like I had heard what they were saying and the number was always lower than mine. And so in the back of my head, I'm like always panicking. I'm like, please don't ask me. Please don't ask me. Cause like I dedicated myself to like, if they ask, then I'll tell them. But like, it's like you put yourself in that position. It's scary. You know what I mean? And so recently what happened to me in my job is like, I've been like promoted to full-time, So
congrats.
Thanks. With that full-time, right? Like obviously I get like the same wage, but now full-time and like maybe a little higher too, like because I'm like salary, so like it balanced out me getting kind of like a raise. But like, I wasn't necessarily thrilled about what my raise was going to be, so I even asked for more money. But I had a situation where one of the people that I work with, like, I got into like a spat. I would say it's like a spat. It's not even like a tiff or like an altercation, but like I got into like a little spat with them about the fact that I was about to go ask for more money when they weren't getting more money at all. You know what I mean? And this is somebody who's been working for a long time and is actually a very good worker, hard worker that works there. But at the same time, it was like, I don't know, should I have told this person what I was making? And it felt like that, but like on principle, yes. In practice, I'm so unsure. Like I'm going to obviously keep doing it. But it was something that put me in a position where like I was really, for the first time, taken aback because I understood where they were coming from and I understood the frustration. But like it was like the first time that like another worker's frustration about their setup and their financial situation was taken out on me. Like in my like the first time in my worker type career.
Oh wow! So someone was legit like, "Yo, fuck you."
Not fuck me, but just little like annoyed with me. Annoyed with me, and there was a little bit of hostility involved. And like like other people were around and like they sensed it, and I had to like come back to them because like the person left after I had my whole meeting with my boss and everything. I was like, "Hey, are they gonna be all right?" You know? And
damn, yo, shit, yo.
And they were like, "Yeah, don't worry about him," but like they knew that like they weren't happy,
like,
and like
yeah, don't. But
since I have pieced it up with that person, like they called me back the next day, talked to me about it, and we've pieced it up, and we like, you know. And I would go so far as to say this person is my friend at work. You know, like I like this person. I like this person a lot. You know. But at the same time, I don't even know what I'm trying to say about it. But that was my experience. Like it was weird. It was weird and it was a lot and it was scary because it was like I told this person this because I wanted them to make more money. But because of the way I guess I was being naive and ignorant to the fact that like not everybody feels that way, you know, or sees things in that way.
I don't know. It's hard for me to, because I've never been through something like that either myself. And the last time I was talking, the last job that cut all my hours, everybody was open about how much they're getting paid. We had an entire discussion about it.
Right.
Everybody got cut, so it didn't really matter. But there was no like aggression, you know, hostility at all, because we was all just on the same page. Like, oh shit.
Was anybody getting paid more than the other people though? Like a significant amount?
No, not significant, but enough. You know,
enough.
I'm making, I'll tell
you.
Like
a couple of dollars more or whatever.
Yeah, I'm making, job was paying minimum wage.
Yeah.
So we're making 15. Some people who came in were making 18. That's why I said, not too significant, but like, understandable though, because I've been there to jobs like that. Minimum wages here in New York, usually get a few more bucks. But like, we knew, didn't have anything to, there was nothing to do about it, didn't have any hostility towards anybody who told me. So I don't know what that's like. Even now, if dude was an asshole and was like, yo, I'm getting paid more than you, 24. It's like, what, we do the same thing though? Yeah, well, you know, I got mine, Regardless, they just did me a favor. There's no point in having hostility towards them. It's not going to be paid more.
Right.
So it's a weird thing. Like, maybe they're just having a bad day.
Nah, that wasn't it, because I had like similar spats with this particular person before.
Oh, well, that's different. Give me some more background.
No, that is the background. Is that like,
I know. Give me some more.
they're not happy with their position, and they weren't happy. And it's not to spill tea on anybody, but they weren't happy with the fact that I was newer and that, like, you know what I mean? And then like, you know, I come in and like, you know, and this is what I asked for, and this is, and like, that is completely devoid of like what their actual knowledge is of like my work history, why I'm getting paid the way I'm getting paid, what my negotiation was with the company and everything, how that went and how that came about, you know. I think personally, my outlook because I'm saying a lot their outlook to me, which I feel like is unfair, but like my outlook to them, you know, is that I feel like they're getting fucked in the ass by the company. I don't like it. Like, I feel like they have every right to be upset. I was a little hurt. I was a little hurt.
It's okay, buddy. Let it out. It's all right. Yeah, we know like, that was a big jump for you. Everyone give him a round of applause, yo. Y'all give Logan a round of applause. That was hard for him. Y'all don't know how hard that was for him.
But I'm not gonna lie. I was a little hurt, like their reaction. I was hurt by it because, like I said, I figured this person as a friend, you know, but it's not I guess it's not easy like sticking to your guns about this particular thing. And like a lot of people say, don't discuss your pay at work because shit like this happens, you know?
Yeah, but
I feel like we have to be better than that, and we need to keep doing stuff like this because of the fact that, like, I can't imagine what it would be like. And I told them this too. I can't imagine what it would be like if I was making what I was making and I knew what they were making and I never said anything and I was just working there for years, you know, and then maybe I did get a raise and maybe they get a raise, but like it's nowhere near what I got. You know what I mean?
I know what's happening now, Logan. And because you are hurting, but I know what's happening literally right now. So you're a person who did the right thing, but now on some level, not to the full extent, but now on some level, even though you did the right thing, it feels like you're being punished for it. And it's weird because like you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
and this person,
that's not necessarily my gripe, but yeah, that's true.
It is what's happening.
That's not invalid, yeah.
And the person coming to you with the bullshit, the reason you're getting it is because they're dealing with a whole bunch of emotions that they don't actually know how to process.
Yeah.
This is just how they're gonna process it. It is what it is. Because why wouldn't you be mad on some level? Like new dude came in and he's making more. He didn't, and he told you, so you can't even necessarily be mad at him. But nonetheless, you walk in every day and you have to look at his face. You don't know what that feels like because you're not the person walking that.
You're right.
Now that you're giving me more, like I get why that person's doing that. They still wrong. They know better. At this point, though, they're at a point they can't really help it. There's just like, where does this feeling that I'm feeling like empty, used, like I'm upset, of course. And the only reason I'm upset is because I'm really sad because I feel like I've been taken advantage of. And now some guy just came and literally proved that I'm being taken advantage of. And I have to walk in, look at that dude's face who was actually nice to me. So I can't even be mad at him, but like I kind of still am. And then look at that boss who's literally taking advantage of me. I can't go anywhere else because I need this job in my head. This is a job I need.
You know, in truth, they're not even like the core like subject. That's not even what I wanted to talk about. It's just that is something that happened. But what I really wanted to talk about was just like worker solidarity and how like we just like it's tough is what I wanted to say. That's a hard thing
when everyone feels like they're not being treated the same because that's the point of the solidarity in the first place.
It's tough because of that. It's also tough because it's just tough to fucking live out.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not the point of it is not that everything is the way it should be. Like if everything was the way it should be, maybe they would be getting paid more than me, or maybe we would all be getting paid the same. But that is a scenario in which everything is going correctly. The scenario we find ourselves in now is like, yes, you're upset and you should be upset because it's fucked up. You know, you deserve more. That's why we should tell each other what we make, because of the fact that we need to know who's getting fucked and who isn't. You know, we need to know that. We need to know in what way is the system unfair? you know, and without that, we cannot investigate that. However, I feel like it can be easy to say that. Which is part of the reason I bring this up is that it could be easy. It could be easy to say that, hey, you should like share your wages with the people around you when the people around you are, you know, and sometimes in their own way surviving, you know, or maybe they do need more money, or maybe they don't, like whatever their situation is, like it can be kind of daunting to be like, you know, hey, I'm getting paid this much, and you don't really know if they're gonna open their mouth against you or not, you know, or if they have already. So it's like that's like the risk we run, but at the same time, we need to, like I said earlier, we have to like figure out like how dedicated we are to like the ideals that we try to push forward, you know. Like I said, I'm not gonna stop telling people what I make, you know.
Right. Nor should you.
Yeah.
But, you know, people deal with, they're only human.
Yeah.
That person is only dealing with, you know, emotions they literally can't resolve due to their circumstances.
Yeah, because like
it's gonna take time.
When I finally signed my papers for what I was getting, like what I'm gonna be making a month, like he asked me again, like what I was like, what are you doing to me? Why do you like? And I told him anyways, but I was like, fuck, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, I did have that moment where I was just like, fuck, I gotta tell you again with my new fucking pay, like Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess like in practice, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. That's the sad part, is that it is what it is. And she's gonna, you know, the issue she's having is for her to deal with. You know what I mean? She doesn't get to be upset with you. You know, she can be upset as fuck with her manager. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
But more than likely isn't going to do that for fear of being let go, which shouldn't care about, because retaliation is a thing that you can be protected from. And also, like, when you're fired in New York City, you get the unemployment, so you can take that time to find better opportunities. But, you know, no one wants to go into unemployment. That's not a space you want to live in. That's not a space that makes you feel secure. But, you know, that's the risk you have to be willing to run sometimes to hopefully get better, you know?
Right. I mean? I feel like yeah.
It's a tough one, man.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like we like. I lost my train of thought. I'm gonna be honest, but you know, no, I did have something to say about it, but it's just cool. Like,
I mean, we talked about a lot today. So.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get out of here. You're right.
Yay! My plan worked.
I know. Yeah. I saw it.
I am Vecna.
You're Vecna?
Imagine.
No, you know the great thing about Vecna is like the guy that did Freddy Krueger. That's Vecna. Like that's who does the voice. Yeah. Yeah, Robert Eggman.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yo, that's so dope, yo.
Yeah.
Man, that makes so much sense.
The old
the original one. I know they've been, but that's dope as fuck, yo. Oh, man, I didn't realize that at all. No wonder he's so fucking good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. All right, I get it. Like, someone's been preparing to be the boogeyman under the bed for a while now. Right? Like, shit. All right, relax. But seriously, don't relax. Do more.
Did you ever see Candyman?
Not the original or the new one. No.
I saw a new one. It's like that one bothered me because it was boring.
Oh, because it was boring.
I was bored. I was bored as shit. I fell asleep on that movie like 3 times.
Wow, people really liked it apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Right. That is exactly how that interaction should have went. Exactly how it needs to go.
I don't know what to say after that. What would you like to leave the people with today, Mitch?
Confidence is key. Love yourself. Mitch out.
Yeah. What would I like to say today?
Confidence is key. Logan out.
Confidence is key. Logan out. That's what I'm gonna say. No. Basically, don't listen to me. Keep like doing good like worker things. Like keep sharing your pay. Keep sharing like what happens to you at work. You guys, like when we go to work, we have to understand it's not just us. Like that's what I want to like, if anything, draw and like come back from is that like what happened between me and that one person is that I think we forgot that like we're in the same boat. You know what I mean? That it could have been either one of us on either side of it, and that we should all ask for more because we all deserve a little more, and that's just how it works. And like too often we get too concerned about, the one-to-one interaction between us versus the job when there's so much more us to be had. Like there's so much more. Like the one thing I love about my workplace is that I do get to spend a lot of time with the people I work with in a way that I do kind of know them, in a way. I do get to spend a lot of time talking to them, like figuring out who they are, like, as people, as human beings, and we have to like see each other that way. And we have to learn that like, that these businesses, they rely on us, and like, there's nothing wrong with pushing that forward and like being like, hey, listen, I do good work. The people around me do good work, and we deserve to not be starving for that,
They literally can't run without you.
Yeah, they can't. So it's like that's what we need to like really boil like everything down to. Like you can work hard till you're blue in the face, but like that doesn't mean somebody's gonna pay you right. You know what I mean? And that really can be the frustration for a lot of people. That probably is the frustration for that person. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's so valid, and I think it's well deserved, that anger. Whether it's directed towards me or anybody else, like it is what it is at the end of the day. But how we like move forward and how do we like do something about it, we have to figure out. I think we need to start thinking at least about how do we together, like how can we get ourselves together, how do we organize ourselves together. I know I like organize is a big scary word, but I don't even mean like you have to start a union, but how do you just start the conversation with yourself so that you could have it with other people. Start the conversation with like, is everybody happy? Does everybody like really want to work at this place in this way, or do we want to do something about it? It can be tough when you like actually like your job, but like your job doesn't like treat you right,
Right.
That's all I really want to say about that. As always, if you like the show, I didn't hear what you said, so I'm just.
I said it was a lot to say.
Yeah, fuck you. If you like the show, share the show. I think we have a lot of good stuff coming up in the coming weeks. I have some stuff that's planned for the show.
A surprise next week.
Well, maybe. Well, calm down, Mitch. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is stay tuned to the show as you always been, but also don't be afraid to, listen with friends and like have a day with it, You know what I figured out? The time I like listening to the show the most is like in the morning. Like I have really? Like, yeah, for real. Like this show, like especially with just like the last couple of shows, have just been like weird like morning shows, like for me, for some reason. Like it's just been like, yeah, it's just been like it has a certain kind of rhythm and tone, just perfect for the morning before I like get started, because it's just like easy to listen to, and I can listen to it like that. So that's me just like tooting my own horn and like putting the show out there like that. Like that's how I feel. You know what I mean?
Shit. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're one of the type of people that like to listen to the show in the morning, yeah, just like I don't know, say like me too or whatever. Say bye to the people, Mitch.
I've had my moment, and I'm okay now.
Okay. Full circle. And the circle is closed.
That is all.
I have been your host, Logan. This is episode 57 of the Milk and Toast podcast. And we out. Bye.